Okay, so in this lesson we're going to discuss rational exponents. All rational exponents mean are fractional exponents. So like if we have x to the 1/2, y to the 2/3, okay? Remember, fraction is just a ratio. That's where the name rational comes from. Okay, so there are two rules we're going to work with for rational exponents. Rule number 1, rule number 2. Rule number 1 involves when the exponent is positive. Okay, so like x to the 1/2, y to the 2/3. Okay, it's in the form of x to the a over b, x to the something over something. That's our ratio, our fraction, right? That's going to be equal to the bth root of x to the a, with the a inside the square root, or equivalently, the bth root of x all raised to the a power. So the denominator of the fraction in the exponent tells you the root that you're working with. Okay? So that's when the exponent's positive. When the exponent's negative, you should remember for negative exponents we flip. So it's going to be just 1 over the rule from above. All right, let's take a look at how we use this. So we have an expression with a square root. We want to write this as a rational exponent. So if we use our rule, x to the a over b is equal to the bth root of x to the a. Okay, so our index, our root here is 8. That's b. So we know b is 8. The exponent inside the square root is 7. That's a. So we know a is 7. So x to the a over b would be x to the 7 over 8. Okay, number 2, we're evaluating. We have numbers to work with here. So 64 to the 1/3, that's going to be the cube root of 64 to the first power, which is just the cube root of 64, which we know is 4, because 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 cubed, is 64. 81 to the 1/4, it's going to be the 4th root of 81 to the first, which is just the 4th root of 81, which is 3, because 3 to the 4th, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. Number 3, negative 256 to the 1/4. That's going to be the 4th root of negative 256 to the first, which is just the 4th root of negative 256. Now, the 4th root of 256 is 4, okay? Because 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 to the 4th power, is 256. What if I do negative 4 to the 4th power? Well, that also gives me 256. So this is not a real number. So there is no number that I can raise to the 4th power and get negative 256. Okay. On B, be careful, because the negative's not in parentheses, so it's negative of all this stuff. So do 27 to the 1/3 power. The negative in front means just flip the sign. So 27 to the 1/3 power is the cube root of 27 to the first, which is the cube root of 27, which is 3. Okay? But since we have a negative in front, the answer is going to be negative 3. Number 4, 16 to the 3/4. So this is going to be the 4th root of 16 cubed. Now 16 cubed is a big number, and then we have to find the 4th root of that. So it's going to be a lot easier to use the rule over here, bth root of x, and then raise all of it to the 8th power. So in other words, we're going to do the 4th root of 16, get an answer for that, and raise that answer to the 3rd power. The 4th root of 16 is just 2, because 2 to the 4th is 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And 2 to the 3rd is 8. All right. Number 5, 16 to the negative 3/4. That's going to be 1 over 16 to the positive 3/4, which is going to be 1 over the 4th root of 16 cubed, which is 1 over 2 cubed, which is 1/8. All right, number 5, 1/4 to the negative 5/2 is 1 over 1/4 to the positive 5/2. That's going to be 1 over the square root, the second root of 1/4 to the 5th. Okay, what's the square root of 1/4? Well, that's going to be 1/2, because 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. So it's going to be 1 over 1/2 to the 5th. 1/2 to the 5th, 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, which is 1 over 2 to the 5th power, 4, 8, 16, 32. 1 over 132, which is just 32.